I'm sure you're wondering who the top 10 recruits are in the country this year, and I can't wait to tell you all about that in this video. So let's stop stalling and start talking wrestling. Hello, my name is Josiah, host of the Fanco Wrestling Show here on the Fanco Wrestling channel, where we talk all about wrestling news, tips, and lifestyle. And if you've been following along with this playlist, then you've learned all about the top 100 recruits of the incoming freshman class of 2019. There have been so many stats to discuss, and I think really one of the biggest stories so far has been Ohio State, and that's what we're going to see a lot of in these top 10 recruits. Now, as I said in my previous video, I just want to let you guys remind you that I'm talking about where these guys are as far as their records, where they went to high school, where they're from, and which top 6 tournaments they won or where they wrestled. Those top 6 tournaments, of course, are Ironman, Powerade, Beast of the East, Escape the Rock, Super 32, and out west you have Reno Tournament of Champions. And let's not waste any more time and dive right into this. But I also want to let you know that at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a very special bonus that you're not going to want to miss. So make sure you stick around for that. At the number 10 recruit in the country right now, coming in, incoming freshman class of 2019, going to Cornell, you have Julianne Ramirez. Ramirez is the number 2 ranked guy in his weight class, a 3-time state champion. In high school, he wrestled for Blair Academy. Going to Cornell, right now at where he is projected at 174 pounds, you have Womack at Cornell, who's a senior, and you'll probably see Ramirez take that red shirt freshman year. In high school, he wrestled very well. He had a record of 143-10. He won Beast of the East this past year, and he took second at Ironman. He lost to another top recruit. You'll see it in just a little bit, Corson Corson, and he actually lost to Kirkley again at who's number 1. So, I guess he's just a thorn in his side, but he is the top 10 recruit. At the top 9 recruit, the number 9 recruit, we have Carter Sorachi, a guy from Pennsylvania who is the number 2 ranked guy in his weight class at 182 pounds. He's projected to wrestle 174 in college. You can see that jumping around a little bit, I think, but he is Penn State's only guy in the top 100. So not just the top 10, not just the top 25. He's Penn State's only guy in the top 100. A little bit of a down year as far as Penn State recruiting, but we've seen Penn State turn guys into champions who weren't necessarily in that top 25. And Sorachi could be a national champion over the next couple of years. He won Powerade this year. And he had a record of 161-10. He actually beat another top recruit who's in the class of 2020 in Garrett Ninehouse. Now, right now, it's going to be tough for him to make the lineup at Penn State next year, considering he'll have Mark Hall there. I guess he could maybe bump up, but wherever you go at Penn State, it's going to be tough. Wherever you go at any of these schools, it's going to be tough. So that's Sorachi. And at number 8, Jojo Aragona, or I'm sorry, not Jojo Aragona yet, Jaden Bass. So Jaden Bass is the number 3 ranked guy in the country at his weight class, and he is at 145 pounds, 2-time state champion from California. He's going out in California to college, going to Stanford, and he actually wrestled 2 of these top 6 tournaments in Super 32 and Ironman. And at Ironman, he actually lost to Ryan Anderson, who is another top 25 recruit, but he wrestled he was number 1 as well, lost there to O'Toole, but he still wrestled it, showing that he's one of these deserved top-ranked guys. 2-time Super 32 finalist. He had 2 top 3 finishes at Fargo, and he's a 6th wrestler in San Diego section to win back-to-back state titles. So there are so many stats here, and I want to just check with you guys that, are you enjoying all these stats? Are you stats guys yourselves? Because I looked all over the internet for these informations, pulled things from Flow Wrestling, from Intermat, from Track Wrestling, from Stat Wrestle. So many places to find these stats, and I finally pulled them all together for you. So make sure you let me know if you like these stats. At number 7, Julianne Clevelove, another guy from Pennsylvania, from Northampton, 3-time state champion. Now, he's a 3-time with an asterisk, I guess, because in his junior year, he didn't wrestle due to what people call off-the-mat complications. I really don't know what that is. I don't think it really matters. I don't think it's any of my business at all. But 3-time state champion, going to Arizona State. Arizona State is the number 2 ranked recruiting class by Flow Wrestling, and there's a reason for that. They're wrestling very, very well. They recruited very, very well. Great wrestlers. Right now, you have Ryan Milhoff at Arizona State, who just graduated, so you could see Clevelove coming in there, possibly taking that spot or taking a redshirt year. He was a 129-6 in high school. That was his record. He lost to Bo Bartlett of Wyoming Seminary at Beast of the East, but he did win Escape the Rock. Now, what else is interesting is that he has a win over Matt Parker, who's transferred from Lehigh to Penn State at Escape the Rock, and also in the state finals in Pennsylvania. Now, what's interesting about him is he actually committed very, very early. I think he was one of the first recruits to commit, and he recruited like as a freshman or something, unofficially, but he's saying he wanted to go to Arizona State, and that's where he went. And now, I misspoke earlier, but at number 6, we have Jojo Aragona. A little bit higher than originally I said, but Aragona is one of New Jersey's strongest guys. He is a state champion this year, wrestled at Beat the Streets, if you remember, if you watched that. He pinned another top recruit in Adam Buscello, who's going to Arizona State, I believe. Aragona is the number 1 ranked guy in his weight class and the number 6 recruit overall. Now, what's great for him is at 141 pounds or 149 pounds, which is where he projected wrestle, at 149, you have Anthony Ashland, who just left. So that spot kind of just opened up for him to take if he wants it. And you also have a strong training partner in Nick Soriano if he, wrestles with him in the room, which, I'm sure he will. He had a record of 162-6. Wrestled at Who's Number 1. He beat Keegan O'Toole and Gabe Tag to take that number 1 spot. And I think we're going to see great things from him over the next couple of years at Rutgers. So at number 5, we are into the top 5. Are you enjoying this massive recruiting guide? Let me know in the comments below. At number 5, you have Jordan Decatur, and this is where Ohio State starts to come alive. If you're an Ohio State fan, you have a lot to be excited about over the next couple of years, from 2019, 2020, and beyond. And that's starting with Jordan Decatur. Jordan Decatur, number 1 recruit, number 1 ranked in his weight class, number 5 recruit overall at 132 pounds. Now, it's a little bit tough for him to make the lineup next year, considering you have Luke Pletcher at 133, which is where Decatur will probably look to wrestle. Of course, Pletcher made it to the semifinals last year at Nationals, ended up taking 4th at Ohio State. Decatur took 3rd at Ironman. That was the only top 6 tournament that he wrestled. He had a record of 134-7, 3-time Ohio State champion. He wrestled for Cuyahoga Valley, which you may remember another guy who wrestled for that same high school in NATO. Nathan Tomasello also wrestled at Cuyahoga Valley. Now, he's really going to help Ohio State have strong light middleweight classes from 33 to 49. Of course, this year, redshirt, you have Sammy Sasso coming in hot. Ohio State's going to be a force to reckon with. I'm telling you that right now. At number 4, Corson Corson at the number 1 in his weight class at 174 pounds, number 4 ranked recruit overall. I got another guy going to Ohio State. He is a 2-time Ohio State champion. 2-time Ohio State champion. He won Ironman, where he beat number 12 recruit Julian Ramirez, who's number 2 guy in the weight class. So right now at Ohio State, you have Tayshawn Campbell, who just graduated at 165 pounds, which is where Karchla is looking to potentially wrestle. So you could see him maybe coming in there this year to wrestle, which I think is more than likely to happen. Maybe not at the beginning of the year, but he kind of comes in towards the middle end after he gets a little bit of some matches under his belt, some college matches. He won Junior Freestyle Nationals, and he's a Fargo champ. So again, Ohio State coming in hot. Now, this next guy is not from Ohio State, not from Ohio. He's actually from Colorado. And he's looking to wrestle for Northern Colorado, which is, usually I wouldn't think that they would get the top ranked recruits. And, congrats to them on getting this guy, because they Colorado's one of the top 5, 6, 7 states as far as where guys have recruited in the top 100. So that's pretty interesting. But at number 3 recruit, you have Andrew Alvarez. Alvarez is the number 1 guy in his weight class at 152 pounds. and he's a 4-time state champion from Colorado. Now, right now at Northern Colorado, you have Robert Winters, who's a junior. So you could see Alvarez taking another year off at 149 pounds. Not off, but redshirting. He had a record of 149-1. In this past year, he was undefeated in his senior season, 33-0. At who's number 1, he also wrestled. He beat Lu Chao, who is another top-ranked guy in the weight. He took third at Junior Nationals. He beat Nick Lee at World Team Trials in the past. He's a 2-time Super 32 placer, although he didn't wrestle any of these top 6 tournaments this year. He has 98 pins. He beat Dean Heil at the Dave Schultz in January, and he barely lost to Bryce Meredith at the same tournament. So you could see Alvarez doing very, very well in the future. This is a guy to look out for, and I really don't know if Northern Colorado has had a national champion, at least in the past couple of years, but I could see Alvarez definitely winning a championship at 149. The number 2 recruit in the top, let me preface this by saying the top 2 recruits are heavyweights, and that is incredible. The heavyweight talent that has been coming in over the last, 5, 6, 7 years is unreal. First, you have Kyle Snyder. Then this year, you have Gil Stevenson, who was one of the top recruits. Lost to Kassar, of course, who is another great guy. You have Adam Kuhn up there. And then you have these 2 top guys at 285 pounds. Now, this guy is Corson Schultz. He is actually wrestling in Final X and Greco. He committed pretty late, but he was a World Team Trial champion, and he is the number 1 ranked guy at 285 pounds, which is a little bit strange considering he's not the number 1 recruit, even though I said they're both heavyweights. So the number 1 ranked guy at 285 pounds, 4-time Colorado state champion. He's going to Arizona State. So again, another guy that gives Arizona State a very strong recruiting class. Right now at Arizona State, you have Brady Daniel, who's a sophomore. So you can see Schultz taking the year off. I think these heavyweights are really thinking, every weight's thinking this, but like, where do I redshirt a year to get a year of separation between Stevenson, maybe get another chance? Not saying that Schultz can't beat Stevenson. I'm not saying that at all. I think it'd be a very strong match, but especially considering he did beat Mason Paris, who is a top-ranked wrestler, a very strong wrestler. Schultz beat him. He gave Seth Nevels his first high school loss, which is pretty incredible. And he pinned 15 out of 16 guys in his state championship runs. So he is a pinner, and that's going to be very exciting to see at heavyweight, and the number 1 ranked recruit. And before I get into this, I just want to remind you that I have a bonus for you guys at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around and check that out. But the number 1 ranked guy in the country is Greg Kirkley. Kirkley is an Ohio State commit, and he is a heavyweight, the number 2 ranked heavyweight behind Schultz, which I find a little strange. I got these straight from Flow Wrestling, so just to let you know where that's from. He's a 4-time Minnesota State champion. Now, you may be remembering another Minnesota State champion in Gable Stevenson, who is also from Minnesota. And yes, they did wrestle in high school. They wrestled, and Stevenson beat him barely. Barely he beat him in high school a couple of years ago. Now, at Ohio State right now, you have Chase Singletary at 285 pounds, who's a sophomore. I see Kirkley maybe taking a year off to redshirt, and Singletary's still going to make the lineup, but he's going to be strong in a couple of years. Now, Kirkley has over 200 wins. He was undefeated as a senior. He's a two-time team state champ. He is a junior world champ, cadet world champ, and he actually has the first time the 2 world champs wrestled in high school was Stevenson and Kirkley, which is pretty incredible. Now, this year he actually worked back from an ACL tear, but he did end up finishing strong with the state title, and he was a team captain since his sophomore year. So he is a guy who is going to be forced wreck with a heavyweight, and I can't wait to see wrestle at Ohio State because they've wrestled they've had some very strong recruits. And as I promised, here is your bonus. So if you are interested in these slides that I've been showing you guys, and you're interested in learning more about all of these recruits as far as their comparisons, where they went to high school, what state they're from, where they're going to college, and all of that, there is a very special bonus download that I have for you guys. Make sure you click down below in the description, where I will have a link to this official recruit report card. It's absolutely free, and I want to give it to you so that you can check it out and check out all of these stats. It's pretty comprehensive, and I think that if you're a college wrestling fan and want to make sure you know exactly what's going on from 2019, 2020 and beyond, you are going to want to have this. If you haven't already, check out these other stats on the top recruits. I made sure to get into statistical analysis by state, by weight, by everything that's very important in these stats. So make sure you check out all these videos that I have linked right here. Thanks for watching.